Hey guys, so I decided I'm gonna make a story time video about the time I almost got kicked out of residency before I even started residency. So the reason I actually decided to make this video is I do get asked a lot about this, considering I did used to bring it up a lot because it still blew my mind. That was something that almost happened. I think there are some valuable lessons to learn from it, especially if you're someone as naive as I was at that time, felt that everyone was decent in the world and no such things. Like, once you hear the story, you'll realize you don't expect such things to happen to you. So let's go back to 2016. That's when I moved to the US. I was living in Dubai at that time, and I had just moved to the US. I was gonna start residency in 2 weeks. I was looking for a house, an apartment, and I was setting things up. I didn't have a bank account, I didn't have a car, I didn't have anything at that time. So here I am in the bank, okay? I'm sitting there in the bank and I'm creating this debit card, and they tell me, we're gonna send you an email. And once you get the email, make sure that you hit the link, and that way we can open that account for you. So I haven't accessed my email since I moved to Dubai. Since I moved from Dubai. So I click on my email on my phone, like this. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Like this email thing. Yes, I do have like 29,000 emails. But I click this little email button, and the first thing that it says, oh, you're accessing your email from a new location. Well, yeah, because I was in Dubai, now I'm in the US. So they said that they were going to send an email to my backup email. And till then, I would have no access or something like that. I didn't think too much of it. I wasn't really too concerned. I didn't even remember what my backup email is. So I go back to my hotel. It was a Friday. I go back to my hotel after the bank, and I didn't really think too much of it. I opened my email. It worked. So whoever got the backup email verification clicked OK or something. And the first email I see is from my program coordinator. Her name was, let's say, Mary. Okay, it wasn't Mary, but let's say it's Mary. So Mary sends me an email saying, oh, I am so sad to hear that you and your husband want to leave the program. Here is how you actually leave your residency program. And she sent me an RMP link, and I see this email and my heart drops. I immediately sent her an email saying, hey, what are you talking about, blah blah blah, I didn't send you this email. And the problem is it was 5:30 or 6:30 p.m. on a Friday, so no one was going to be reading that email. And then I go to the sent email, so see if someone had sent her something, and lo and behold, I had actually sent an email saying that I want to leave the program and that me and my husband are suddenly not interested in pursuing a residency in the US. It's pretty obvious that this still shocks me till this day. I immediately go into full-blown panic mode. First of all, thank God my NRMP and my USMLE ECFMG email was different than the one that was accessed, okay? Then I realized that the backup email was someone I knew from my medical school days. Someone who was my best friend at that time. Me and her actually became, I guess you can say, enemies, but it wasn't really enemies. I just stopped talking to this person because we had different goals in life, and there was a lot of conflict when me and her were the only ones actually doing the USMLE at that time in our student class. And then the past year and a half, we just haven't spoken. And yeah, so that was really fun. I immediately call Yahoo because that's where my email was. I call Yahoo and they're like, oh, we sent an email to your backup email, and that's how we got it verified. and you can also change your password through that, and they actually changed my password, so I wasn't able to access my email through any computers. It was just already opened on my phone, and that's why I was able to see what's going on. So I immediately called my parents in Dubai, freaking out, and they tried accessing the email. They tried like using passwords because they thought like maybe them living in Dubai would allow them access. It still wouldn't. They suddenly tell me, hey, your Instagram's taken down. Hey, your Facebook's been taken down. Any social media account that I had was deleted by that person. And when I did start messaging that person, hey, is there some issue, or did you get an email or something? And guess what? My number got blocked. I called that person, it was working, and then suddenly every time I called that person, my number was blocked. Like, if you didn't need more evidence that this person, this human, was the reason behind everything, like them ignoring my call or blocking my call was kind of proof to me, right? The problem is it was a Friday, so I couldn't send anything to the program. I sent multiple emails to the program coordinator telling her it's not me. I paid $140 to get that email taken down. I lost all my social media accounts at that time. What else happened? Oh, so Monday morning comes along, okay? And I go directly to the hospital and I talk to the program coordinator, and she tells me, well, it did sound weird because every time I spoke to you before you started, before when we were getting like the paperwork ready for residency, you were like a super nice person and you were super excited to start here. But either way, we actually wanted to have a meeting with you when you first started. And I'm like, a meeting? How come? What are you talking about? God. Apparently, a person had created a fake Facebook account with my name, used my pictures, and was sending messages to my upcoming co-residents at that time, my senior residents, and some of the attendings, and they were like nasty messages. Like, hey, I know you're only in this program because of your husband. Oh, I know you're only in this program because of your connections and stuff like that. How can you help me do this, do that, etc., stuff like that. And the second she told me this, like my heart sank, because like all these people now had this impression about me when I didn't even know who these people were. Like I didn't even know who my upcoming co-residents and seniors were gonna be. Like I didn't even look them up on the website. I didn't even ask. I didn't even try to communicate with anyone before I started. So the fact that the person actually created a fake Facebook account and tried to like destroy me before I even started residency still shocks me to this day. So I tell them this isn't me, and they immediately believe me. They're like, yeah, we remember you. You were super nice during the interview. You seem like a super nice person. It was kind of shocking. Something felt off. And I was lucky enough that the program director was like really super nice, and he knew like it isn't me. The other thing is they actually told me to take that person's picture, my friend from medical school, and to hand it to the security to make sure that she's never on, like she's not allowed to enter the hospital or anything like that, because they told me this person is dangerous. Later on, when I started residency, I found out that one of my senior residents was one of her friend's big brother, and they had actually communicated to her and told her, hey, someone from your university actually matched. Do you know this person? And that's how she knew I matched in this program. God. Every time I talk about the story, I get so frustrated and I get so upset, because I never, like, the one thing I always mention on my Instagram or in my post is I really think you guys should focus on yourself. have tunnel vision. Like, you guys should not never be distracted by anyone else. If you see someone having something that you don't have, be inspired by it, learn from them, but never ever ever try to destroy someone. Like, you don't benefit whatsoever. Unless you're an evil person, then I shall stay quiet, but you know what I want to say. But like, I think you guys like, I still get shocked every time someone's like rude or dishonest or like, evil, I guess. But that scenario made me realize how naive I was. When I first created my email back in medical school, I actually, my friend made me create an email because I didn't really use emails that much and stuff like that. Like, I was like so anti-social media. I never took pictures. I never did anything up until I met this person. And she made me create an email account so I can like make an Facebook, make an Instagram, etc. So I did that, and I did that with her. And then she told me, hey, just put my email as a backup email. Which I was like, oh yeah, my best friend, let's do that. That sounds smart. So I'm never going to do that again. Unfortunately, what you realize in medical school, even though you can make friends for life, which I still have one of my best friends from med school. I still talk to her almost every week, even though we live on different continents. But there's also a lot of competition. And unfortunately, some people can't handle this competition. And this is what happens. Right? This is what happens when jealousy seeds in. This is what happens when people don't get what they want, I guess. But lessons learned, that's why you guys sometimes don't realize, that's why I don't share much on social media. Like, I don't share anything personal or that's important to me on. But I realize, like, there's no benefit. Like, yeah, you might get more followers, yeah, you might become more famous, blah, 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 blah. You get more sponsorships, etc. Like, all that stuff that doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is your mental well-being. And till now, every time I remember, like, how freaked out I was that entire weekend because of what happened, it's not worth it. It's more important to be anonymous, I guess. Like, don't share your last name, don't share where you're working, don't share your location, don't share personal stuff, things that are important to you. I highly recommend not sharing like that. So I hope you guys actually learned something from this. I hope it was an interesting story to tell, but at the same time, I hope some of you guys benefited from it. Alright guys, this wasn't really a serious video, but it is something that every time I bring it up or someone mentions it or someone tells me something happened to them similar to that, I'm like, oh, I know, I had experience. It still shocks people, even like friends that I meet in real life, and we start talking about stories and I bring this and we're like, oh my god, this is a movie. This, like, oh my god, that's not real life. But it is. So yeah, and that's why I don't even use Facebook anymore. Like, it reached the point where I sent an email to my entire hospital where I told them, hey guys, I don't have a Facebook account, just so they knew that if it were to continue, it wasn't me. That's my story. Oh, and I tried like putting a restraining order on this person, but that was like such a flop because they were not in the same state. Like, they had moved to the US at that time, but they were doing like an elective or something in a different state, and it was difficult to get a restraining order at that time. So that's my story. I hope you guys found it entertaining, and yeah, all right, bye.